And we are live. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, hello,
Hey,
I'm very happy to host you guys tonight. We're going to talk about communities, how to build them. And yeah, before you guys present yourself, I'm going to do a brief introduction of the Arch, who we are and what we are doing here. So basically, we are a Web3 builders community and we help each other to succeed in our project. So we help each other on the social media parts, social network where we like and follow and all this shit each other. And we also help each other on recruitment part. If you are looking for a technical guy, for a marketing guy, for a lawyer, anything like we have all those vertical in the community, and we help each other by doing a live show 2 times a week where builders can present their product, their project, and we also have a beta testing channel where our users or members can try out some cool apps that we build. And yeah, that's it. I'm very happy to have you guys here tonight. Maybe Itburnz, you can present yourself. You can start.
Sure, sure. I'm Itburnz. I'm from GBC, which is GMX Blueberry Club, and I'm one of the founding team. And Blueberry Club is basically an NFT that merged into the world of DeFi, and where we are pretty much a project that has been birthed by the project called GMX, which is a leveraging protocol. And our whole ethos is to create products on top of GMX. And that products basically appreciate the underlying value of GBCs. And maybe I should talk a little bit about me otherwise.
Yeah. Please do.
So I'm a developer, and I started pretty early in crypto. I think for about 3 years. Actually, it's pretty much a long time. Started during the bull run of DeFi summer, I think. Not sure if it was 3 years ago. But I just jump on the ship so that everything is flying and the whole ecosystem of developing on top of blockchains is pretty much a place where I should be. And since then, I try to stay try to stay leveraged and not get wrecked. So far been good.
That's what everyone's trying, huh?
Yeah, that's not easy in crypto. So I guess Panda, it's your turn. Like, who are you? How did you get involved into crypto? And
Yeah, so I'm part of the Llamas team. I originally got into crypto in like the top in 2017, right? Like like a lot of people. And then I went away traveling for a while, and I kind of lost interest in crypto. Because I did like all of the newbie things of just buying rubbish, and I just watched it go down and down and down, and like I hadn't really kind of found my place in crypto. And then it was in DeFi summer, and particularly the emergence of then later after Curve of Convex, that I really began to kind of find my place in crypto, and the community, and the use cases that I really believed in, and found like very notable. This idea of having self-control over your funds, over your assets, things which should be taught to young people, and they aren't. And they're skills that are really missing, and it really resonated with me in a very sticky community. So I ended up hanging around after that, and I got to know quite a few people from the community, devs, builders, and we just stuck out the bear together, and kind of through that is how we got into llamas. It was originally going to be like a PFP project, but much like the blueberries, it's grown into kind of being like a leverage product on the underlying like for.
Yeah, excuse me, Panda. Excuse me. I think you have a mic issue, and the sound is not that good. Okay, I don't know.
No?
If you... Yeah.
Sounds
Let
a little
me.
bit robotic.
It sounds robotic, does it? Oh no. Let me disconnect and retry again with my microphone.
Yeah. Come back later. So, maybe Hoth, you want to continue?
Yeah. I am Hoth. I am also class of like 2018. I got into crypto just because I love sci-fi and these kind of like just like the world of a blockchain. I really felt like that, and I got it really captured my imagination. And in the bear market of 2018, I just I learned as much as I could, and was really paying attention as a DeFi and these on-chain economies kind of began coming to life. And I've just been like exploring it and like learning, and it's absolutely fascinating. And then you have like NFTs come around, and I being honest, like it missed a lot of that, but I think on-chain culture is a really powerful way to kind of like tap into communities and like create them. And I am one of the founding anons at the llamas, and we're about to launch, and it's really exciting.
Nice. And maybe DeFi Advisoor, for those who don't know you.
Hello, everyone, and thanks a lot, Roman, for having me here with you guys. Quite an honor. Excited to have this talk. I'm DeFi Advisoor. I've been in crypto also. Started noticing it at about 2020, when the world started getting crazy. My life personally, for sure, have changed. I started noticing finance. I didn't know anything about finance or cared about it before that. I thought it was something for the rich, and what does it matter to me? And the more I started realizing what's been going on in the world, I realized that on the contrary, I'm the one who should be knowing as much as I can about it. It's much more needed for me than the rich. And then I started about 2 months earlier noticing DeFi Summer, and it was like, all the stuff that I saw happening in stocks that were quite moving amazingly in 2020 after the big fall of March. I saw that DeFi, I didn't even know what DeFi means back then, but I saw that crypto is like a whole other level of crazy stuff. Definitely got my attention, and started, just following whatever I could back then and learning about it. I really knew nothing about nothing, and tried some stuff, whatever. And about almost a year ago, in May, I started this alt account also because, there was so much NFT stuff going on those years that my Twitter wasn't clean anymore in a way, and it wasn't like my crypto Twitter with all my DeFi data, and I started this profile of DeFi Advisoor, mainly just to, I didn't really plan what actually started to happen after a while, because basically I just wanted, a clean crypto Twitter to be able to follow just crypto folks again, and not all this, there are all kind of the not really amazing work NFTs or whatever back then. And about a month into it, I really wanted to do something myself, like to find a way that I myself can contribute while I was just, reading about all the amazing things builders such as yourselves do. And I started my newsletter on Substack. It's called Another Day in Crypto. And that's what actually I think, made me like a part of the community, and with time, like gaining some kind of an audience, and finding my place to contribute by sharing all the amazing work that so many people I see do.
Yeah. I'm sharing your newsletter in the tweet.
Thank you very much.
I will share your newsletter in the comment section for the followers.
Thanks a lot.
But yeah, it's a great newsletter for people who want to have like the curation of what's happening on Twitter. Yeah, you should subscribe. How often do you post? Like it's one per week, or it's more often?
I try to do more. I can't always do it. At the beginning, I really had a different pace. I was able to put one out every day. Yet now it's more like 2 times a week, more or less. Because all of a sudden, all kinds of different opportunities emerge, such as with stuff I was doing with all kinds of people, and with Itburnz or with the llamas. Like once you have some kind of an audience, all of a sudden there are new possibilities, and like I would say distractions in a way, like good distractions. Yet it's not like in the early days that I was just, it's me and my computer and there are no expectations and I'm gonna curate whatever I want. And with time, stuff a bit changes. Yet I am looking at it as my main thing, because I do think it's the best way for me to contribute and to find my way in the space, and also like, mingle and find stuff to do with all kinds of interesting folks. I can tell you that for the example, with the esteemed folks here, which are definitely, by the way, I think they're kind of a great example to what I opened this crypto Twitter to run away from NFTs who are meaningless NFTs. And here I am in the talk with some of the most talented builders I know, which exactly have NFT projects. One, Itburnz with the project GBC, which for me, like beyond a doubt, this is the OG DeFi NFT project. It changed the NFT landscape. It brought a whole new meaning into the concept of NFTs, and I hope Itburnz will talk about it soon. And recently, of course, once I heard about the llamas, for me, being a Curve maxi in a way, and looking at Curve as the most interesting thing happening on Ethereum and liquidity and everything involved, once I got to know about their idea and got to know them a bit, definitely the 2 most exciting NFT projects I know of.
That's very cool. Yeah, I agree with what you just said. Maybe Panda, you can test your mic. Is it better than it was before?
Do I sound like a robot now?
No, you are not a robot anymore. You sound like a llama. You sound like a llama now. We are good.
Am I British again?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, sorry, what was your question? I was so nervous that the microphone was going to go crazy again.
I mean, the first question I would ask you guys is, why am I the only one with my cam on? So what's happening in Web3? Why nobody wants to show their faces, or why everyone is hiding? Why, guys?
I mean, for us, there's quite a few members on our team are closet Americans, and
the landscape over there, I think right now, if you're a developer, it's, you know, there's a lot of recourse and of ways that the SEC, whoever, you know, whatever acronym of the week can kind of come after you. And I think it's a nervous time right now to be in, and especially an American launching in crypto. I mean, I think for us in Europe, it's definitely better. It's still not great either. And for me personally, it's like staying in non just meant that you know, for llamas, it's an easier process. We can do our thing and not worry about not being able to offer our llamas to Americans, for example. You know, like you go on many platforms now, and it's you know, it's blanked, and you have to sign this and sign that, and a lot of that is because that, you know, the developers are doxed. So I think at the moment in the current landscape, personally, it's just, you know, it's just easier to get things done, and especially for us right now launching, I think it would be, you know, if we were kind of constrained by what we can and could not do, it would make things a lot harder. So I think, yeah, just as trying to simplify what we try and do on a daily basis, really.
Yeah, and I think just to chime in here real quick as well, I think it would potentially hurt the product as well if we can't just be, you know, true to, you know, the crypto community and our, you know, our like colleagues and peers in a crypto, and it would hurt the product to have to change it to help a specific locality, because there's a specific old man in power, and there's like you know, we're building up or the long haul here, and yeah, we think you know, at least hopefully the politics around crypto really change. I think it's a really incredible technology, but all the old people don't quite grasp it.
My excuse is just that I mean, first I think I like the idea of having a PFP. It would be nice maybe in the future to have it animated, but other than that, I think my PFP looks exactly as I am in real life, right? I think
100%.
Yeah.
He's not that lying. He's not really lying, you know. I have to tell.
I'm always on acid, and I have my grills.
You have the same teeth in real life.
Yeah.
Same hat as well.
Same hat.
By the way, for me personally, Itburnz, I bought this Anata, which this is just the PFP of the Anata, which is actually an NFT project, the other NFT project that I'm interested in, which is actually not a DeFi NFT like you guys are doing. It's like, it's exactly what you've mentioned a few seconds ago. I can, if I wasn't lazy, I would already connect it and do like the technical stuff needed, which shouldn't even be that hard for it to be animated. So, for example, this same image that you see here, this is just the PFP of it, yet it's actually a VRM. I'm not sure how you say all this stuff, but you can actually like use it to video and to stream with. It's one of the reasons that I bought it. And for me personally, I prefer it mostly, not because I'm that much want to be not doxed. I think it's not that hard to understand. Like, you know, people who really know how to do stuff on chain, they can find you at least like, unless you're really good at hiding stuff. And for me personally, I think it's better for the brand, and I think also I think it affects the decision of many. I think that people like see that it's kind of the culture in which we are playing in, and I think many adopt it. And maybe sometime I will also like on some streams do it like you know, in a more doxed fashion.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I was doxed as well, but
You can always buy a PFP, man. You can always put up a PFP, but you're a very beautiful guy, man. You don't have to.
Yeah, but maybe I'm just animated AI stuff that you can see. Maybe I'm not real.
Didn't think of that. True.
Anyway, can you guys, the Panda, the Llama teams, can you tell us about what you are doing with Curve? It's very interesting. I'm sure a lot of people want to know a bit more about what you are doing, guys.
Sure. So the Llamas is a community-owned, a community-owned treasury where each Llama owns a percentage of the treasury. This treasury is then used to incentivize positive sum on-chain action. And it's not just things like LPing pools or things, but we're trying to kind of make DeFi kind of more accessible to new users and like onboard new people. So we've got this badge system, right, which is where basically you put like a bounty on chain and you have to complete an action, and that will like boost your yield that you get from the treasury. But these actions are kind of targeted for different things, like towards content creation, Twitter posting. We'll do like content bundles, and then there'll be things which are kind of more DeFi centric, like bootstrapping new pools, being beta testers. The really cool thing is that we're building towards a permissionless marketplace, and so the actions that are being incentivized aren't in the long run going to be chosen by us. They're going to be chosen by whitelisted protocols, who like third parties who deploy the badges themselves. And then I think Hawthorne can talk about this a bit more. We've got one special, a tester badge, right, Hawthorne, where our llamas can choose themselves, or?
Yeah, yeah. So, how we are building the marketplace is off of attestations. So, there has to be a person who signs on either end of the interaction, but we want to, as our community participates in work, they are going to earn badges, and these will be tied to your address, and this will begin to develop an on-chain a reputation that allows you to participate in the marketplace, potentially get more and more complex or targeted job opportunities or work opportunities. And in time, we would like our llamas to be able to become testers and either be tied to our partner protocols or to create their own, and then participate within the ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you. How did you got the idea to build this community, and what was like? Can you tell us a bit more about what bring you there? Like,
Well,
how did you guys meet? How did you guys build it? What are the journeys, the genesis of it?
we were all originally hanging around a lot in the Convex Discord, kind of like in the glory early days. And then the bear market hit, and it got a lot more quiet. And our founder PK, who's not here today, he's the kind of the genius AI artist behind this, right? And he had the idea of just making like a kind of a simple PFP collection that was it was just supposed to be fun, and so it became like a kind of like a small community project. At the beginning, there was really quite a few of us working on it, just spitballing ideas and basically trying to like pass away the bear. I think that was the main thing. And then we knew for a while that in the Curve ecosystem, this kind of element of fun and NFT crossover, like it had been lacking. I think there's definitely like strong communities. You've got your Redacted, your Aladdin, Curve, Convex, Staked Out, etc. And we kind of just saw this as like an opportunity to kind of unify that and bring that together. We're kind of a decentralized, well, we want to be a decentralized protocol that's kind of in the center. And kind of like, everyone's building on top of Curve on Ethereum, or many protocols are. And the ones that really last seem to be based on Curve. And so it's kind of like a natural step then to build like a social side on top of this, right? If you think that Curve is kind of like the center of DeFi, then and it's going to last, then it seems like a really good place to build like an NFT project on top of it. And the system was there whereby we kind of realized, okay, we can create our own flywheel, much like these protocols were doing, like Staked Out, Yearn, Convex, and many others, that we could do the same thing and incentivize action as well, but like rather than targeted at something that was just your gauge vote, we could do this to like targeted action, and that just was a really exciting thing. And to go back to your original question, like how it kind of came out, I guess it was just a lot of time in the bear market, and then just seeing that there was a big gap in the market, and then trying to go for it, really. That's
I think too, every.
You're muted.
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I think as well, every protocol that kind of like traps a lightning in a bottle has this moment that the community turns into this like mobilized like a workforce, and it's hard to really keep that as like a tension moves on, or as like price action causes this like tide to go out. And I think the blueberries like it really created a model to capture that. I remember when they first launched, and GMX was like still pretty new, that like everyone on crypto Twitter was blueberry, all like, and then everyone started like talking about it, and it kind of created this like momentum that really captured a lot of just like community and interest, and it lasted for a long time. I think it's still happening, and it's really cool to get to be up here with Itburnz, because I think he and his team are pioneers that are really connecting NFTs to a DeFi.
Yeah, and I mean, like as Horth was saying, not just to GMX, but like to become synonymous with a chain. Like you think Arbitrum, you think berries, right? That's crazy. So we'd love to emulate that if possible at all. Give it our best.
So now when we think about Ethereum, we have to think about llamas.
But that would be the goal, or we end up on some shitty sidechain and try and take it over.
Any L2 will do.
Yeah.
Really cool.
By the way, I was wondering, all the badge system and everything is going to be on L1.
Yeah. So the badges, some of it's stored on chain and some of it's stored off chain. But at the outset, everything will be level, on Ethereum. I guess in the future, we've definitely got plans to take it to an L2, but I think first we just focus on Ethereum and then see where it takes us. The good thing about the attestation system is that it's very, very cheap. So it kind of takes away a lot of the issues that we would have. And then on top of that, sadly our dev Rask isn't here today, but with everything being built in Viper as well, on top of that, we're really able to kind of like minimize costs and bring everything down. So being on Ethereum isn't too painful. And obviously, we're kind of based off Curve, and that's the home of Curve. So we'll stick around there for a while. But hopefully, in the future, it would be great to kind of expand.
Yes, we guys. Yeah, sounds really good. I have a question regarding like the whole Curve ecosystem. How did you guys connect with the main actors? Like Convex, of course, you were in the start in Discord, but there is also StakeDAO. You have bribe protocols. I don't know if you can call them this way, like Paladin. I don't know how you guys say it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is that we're trying to create this like kind of public goods workforce, and we just began talking to people, and they and then you get connected to another person. You just kind of keep talking and bringing people along with you, and on that in our travels, we met a DeFi advisor who has been instrumental at creating those introductions. But there's a lot of just like a gravity toward this kind of on-chain workforce concept, and we hope to be able to to have a really diverse, dynamic talent pool, and protocols who might not have that person on their team can reach out and kind of tap into that skill set whenever they need. And I think we just keep talking and trying to grow, trying to become like this connective tissue in the Curve world.
Yeah, we have to remember there's only like 100 people in DeFi right now, so it's like and I think maybe like you have this right in Israel, DeFi Advisor. Like, is it like the six degrees of separation or something?
Yeah, 7. Is it 7
or 7? No. Yeah,
I'm not sure. Yeah,
I mean, not many, but that's what DeFi feels like right now. It's like
it's 2 or 3 in DeFi.
Yeah, you get like introduced to one person, and they take an interest in your project, and that a lot of developers have moved from project to project, and so I think as well, also during like the quieter bearer market, like if you stick it around, then it's great actually how easy it is to approach people and how much time they'll give you. If you were, say, to compare this to like a classical, like banking system or startup, right? You can just Discord or tweet and very often you get a reply, within a day or so. The accessibility is amazing. Which is really cool, and yeah, we've taken advantage of it.
My friend, DeFi Advisoor, do you want to make any comment?
Nothing too specific. I agree with a lot of the stuff, like pretty much everything that the Llamas said here. To be honest, I helped them, like I tried to help them make some connections, and hopefully I managed to pull off something. Yet, they are, in my opinion, they're being very modest here. I think these guys, once I started talking to them, they know a lot of people within the Curve ecosystem. And they've convinced them early on to like help them build the stuff. For example, Garrett Curve, am I right? I'm right, Lamas. Not this is true, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Definitely, it was one of the things when I saw that. When I saw them mentioning that Garrett Curve was involved and like doing stuff over there, for me it was definitely a game changer because. For people following the Curve, at least for the people I know, Curve Cap, and also for the very like in the broader aspect of content creation as a whole, to me, Curve Cap, Garrett is like the GOAT. He's the top one. I admire his work so much because like I don't know how he does it, and he's so educated. He always says that he's not educated enough. And for me, it's like I don't even know how can someone know all the stuff that he knows. So there are definitely levels to this game. And once I started talking to Panda and PK, that they mentioned, the founder and the host, they definitely seem like something very different for me in the whole landscape, which tries to interconnect NFTs and DeFi. And the exact same feeling I had was when I first talked to Itburnz. These are DeFi people. These are really people who care and know about crypto values and DeFi and a free economy and doing stuff that helps people protect their liberties and possibilities within life. And seeing folks like this harnessing their knowledge and power to create also the connection, which is culturally essential, because like the Lamas said here, I don't think you can now separate the success of GMX and Blueberries. It happened together. It had I'm not sure how you say the word, but it had a complementary effect. In my opinion, GMX wasn't what it is without the community aspect that Blueberries brought with Itburnz's vision of okay, let's make an NFT that actually means something. Let's make an NFT that represents a part of a treasury. And this is, in a way, in my opinion, this is a revolution, because it's not only this. I used to play with NFTs a while, and I've made my some good choices there and some wrong choices there for sure. Yet, when like this, I can understand why the NFT may be worth something. And when I see smart people like this working on it and doing it in a way in which they want to facilitate all kinds of processes and advancements. I think that's how we say this word. In the whole crypto landscape and DeFi, that for me, it's like, it's so amazing that if I can contribute in any way to stuff like that, I'm all for it, because I think it's a part of what people like me, who are not builders such as like these esteemed folks, like at least that's how we can get more awareness to it and help bring on board new people to see like what these amazing people are building and how we can use it to our advantage.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like the nice looking aspect of blueberries, I'm sure helped a lot of people understand how perpetual trading works, how leverage works, and Curve. It's a very complex project, and I hope that the llamas will help uh, newcomers and beginners into DeFi to understand how it works, how does Curve works, and yeah, what you can do with it, and how those wars works as well, and yeah. And I really like the fact that both of you guys are doing, which is bringing NFT and DeFi together.
Well,
Yeah, totally. I think at least for me personally, a lot of NFT collections are a governance token without anything to uh, to a control or to a govern, and I think, but there's like this emotional draw to them, and it would be, you know, incredible to, you know, connect these permissionless economies to this like emotional place, and I think there's a lot of magic in the crossroads of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like we were asked before, I think on like one of the very first interviews that we did, or maybe it was even like a mock interview with one of our guys, FTV, and it was like talking about the crossover between DeFi and NFTs, and like how people had tried, and you know how in most cases it hadn't worked. And one of the metaphors given, which kind of stuck with me, was like, you know, in school or high school, like everyone's in the canteen, and it's like the boys on one table and the girls on another table, right? And there's like they're separated, and then there's the spark, and then there's a crossover, yeah. And I think, I mean, it's a dumb metaphor, but like, you know, that's kind of what we're trying to do, is like bring apart these kind of two, you know, and they've been kind of cast as like opposing teams, which just like isn't the case. You know, like we've seen it successfully with the blueberries. Hawthorne's, you know, just been talking about now about like this, you know, the governance aspects and the emotional tie to it. So it's like this. I think there's this human nature that's drawn towards the art and the things, and then if you can plug in a utility on top of that, and like a utility with value, you know, then it's kind of limitless what can be done with them. I think it's going to be a really interesting area to be in going forward. You know, like we're kind of getting to this new generation of NFTs. Digital collectibles, whatever you want to call them, but it feels like it's really progressing very fast what can be done with them. You know, fractionalizing them, lending, loaning, the capital efficiency, the governance. There's just so much that can be done.
So yeah, thank you. Can you elaborate a bit more on all the use case for the Llama NFT, how it works? You said earlier that it was part of the treasury. What's happening when the NFT price is going up? Does the treasury also own some Llama NFTs? Can you tell us more about like the Llama tokenomics? And,
there will be, I think it's around 10% of the collection is treasury owned. So okay. we're calling it proof of Llama. So it's going to be like our own protocol owned liquidity, which we'll probably deploy on SudoSwap and, you know, maybe a couple of other places. We're still looking into that. And that will kind of just be, you know, farming liquidity and the transaction fees and the royalties, that will all go back to the treasury and be recompounded into our assets. So actually, if you think about it, like each llama is worth is because 10% staying with the treasury. You own your llama plus what's in the treasury working for you at the same time. Like in regards to how it works, I think like the idea is really that your llama kind of becomes you on chain. It becomes like an avatar that you can take with you. So we hope to see it like integrated within different dApps, like Llama Air Force would be one that, you know, when you go in, you look at your union balance and things, that you can see your llama with you. And then as you kind of complete these actions on chain, you're collecting the badges and you build this, you build your avatar and your reputation. I think like one strong use case is we had a friend of ours who wanted to write for the crypto risk team, Llama Risk now, sorry, they've rebranded. And he had the problem, it was a catch-22. He couldn't provide any of his kind of previous journalistic writings without doxing. And so, you know, this is kind of like where we come into play, that your llama becomes you on chain. So you could, you know, you can write an article, you've collected the badge that shows, okay, in this case, we'd say it's like a llama risk badge. And then maybe you want to go and write for like Blockmates, or, you know, kind of do some crypto journalism, or you want to get in touch with DeFi Advisoor and ask if you could intern for him for like a week. And they say like, okay, so can you show us what you've done? And then you can show one of these badges and verify what you've done, like on and off chain, without having to dox. So I think it's like a powerful tool for enabling you to kind of get out there and start your crypto career or develop it further. In terms of the tokenomics, the treasury, so all of the mint fees that we make will taking in Ether, and then we're going to be buying different Curve eco assets. So CVX, CRV, SDCRV. We want to have a basket of assets. Yield
all of them. How do you plan to do your portfolio? Will the community vote for it?
No, so at in V1 until we release the badge system, which is also governance, the multi-sig is running the treasury.
Okay.
So how we plan to initially do the treasury is kind of we're leaning heavily towards our original launch partners, which are like Paladin, Conic, Convex is a big one, and there should be a few more coming in the next, by the time we've finished our mint. And we then want to spread out our assets like amongst protocol, you know, amongst our partners, really. Ideally, we can partner with as many people in the Curve eco as possible, and we become like a Curve eco ETF, right? Like like an index. That's kind of our route. And then in the first few months, we're just bootstrapping the treasury. So everything that we make is just going to be recompounded back into the treasury. And then once we launch badges in a few months, that will be the beginning of governance, and then we'll be taking steps to decentralize. But at the beginning, with no governance in place, like the founders will be running the multi-sig and taking it there. Of course, we've always been like very open to our community about how we plan about going about it. And I think if anything was very unpopular, then we'd just have a discussion and put it probably into a Discord snapshot, you know, something like that. but at the moment it's it's relatively centralized with the scope to decentralize in time.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to start. I believe like authoritarian systems are way more effective. So as long as you have a good dictator, let's say, I think it's better for the project. But democracy can be very slow, and if you let a lot of people decide on the portfolio allocation, let's say, I mean, most of the people will make mistakes. So that's not what you want. You want to be very effective and take the best decision. And yeah, with the more competent members.
Yeah, I think it's as well. It's it's this thing of flexibility when you're launching, and you need to be able to kind of pivot sometimes and to make very quick decisions, as you said. And if everything is going through a proposal, a governance thing, it's very, very hard in the early days. So I think we just want to take it slow and do it correctly. And I mean, so far our community seems really pleased with what we've done. We just try and communicate our decisions and our thought-making process.
Is the community keen with what you've done because they want to be whitelisted?
No, no. I mean, I'm sure there's probably a couple. I think we've been really lucky. Like with this amazing competition where it was about 5% of the entire collection was given to the winners of the competition, but the competition itself was could they design their own llamas? So like a 5% of, or maybe I think we maybe even took in more than 50. Maybe there was some extra good ones as well. Maybe it's like 70. So that's been designed for like by our community, which I think is we might be one of the first to have done that, if not the first.
I think you guys are the first. I mean, when I made my it was very innovative. Like I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, so I think we with that that's kind of like how we started, and so we've been lucky to, I think, really for the most part, to keep them very much on side. I think that was a great way of getting mints, guaranteed mints, to people that really deserve them. I mean, the team, we're taking we've got a very small share ourselves. We didn't give out a huge amount away either to early supporters. I would have loved to give more, but it's a small collection, and then it's about 55%, 60% goes to the public mint, right? So I think we've tried to keep everyone happy and to keep it accessible as much as possible, but we're also trying to grow a treasury, so we couldn't go any cheaper than what we are.
Okay, maybe we can take some questions from the chat. We've got Estelle Lopez here.
Can I also ask something, Roman?
Yeah. Can you see the question from the chat?
I see something by Estelle Lopez. It says it would be great that the badges use it has an NFT in an NFT, like a glasses for the llama. I'm not really sure. I think it's about the layers. That I'm not definitely sure what he means by that question. I actually wanted to refer to some of the stuff that Panda said, and to maybe ask Itburnz about it, because I think that the very same the decentralization process that you guys are discussing, I think it's exactly something that the Blueberries have been actually doing. They've been thinking about it for a while, and I think there's a lot to learn from how they did it themselves, how exactly they have been able to create this connection with their community that actually, like you said, it's not a democracy exactly, yet the people are pleased. And that's like the most important thing, because like for example, we just saw with the Arbitrum Foundation and the DAO stuff, I'm sure that stuff can get very populist and very quickly with all kind of bad actors. And I personally am very interested to hear your thoughts about everything that, and like, how do you guys plan to decentralize, and how do you see this whole idea of decentralization as a project, and if you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think you are straight on point. I think it's very important to start chaotic. It's very important to just iterate, improve, always change stuff. To be very hard when you're doing it through the approval, through every step, through approvals. It's going to be very hard to change and iterate. But I think once you grow enough, once you build enough foundation, you build enough principles, you have to build something that the community can take on and continue the same principles. So I'll go back in time, for example, and tell you a little bit about GBC. We basically, so there was, first it started through GMX. So GMX is just a DeFi protocol. And we were basically just a part of the community. We're just a few people who really love the principles of the founding father, I should say, which is an unknown developer, pretty much very similar to Satoshi Nakamoto, I would say. So the guy basically just created the project, which was immensely complex and very, very innovative. And it was very surprising the way that he basically exceptionally always improved, always changed, and he was so focused on continuously improving the product and making sure that the community gets basically rewarded because people basically use this utility. They use leverage trading. But mostly, leverage trading, all of the trading basically on crypto is is off chain, is on centralized exchanges. And what he did is basically bringing everything on chain, everything decentralized and permissionless, at least into some parts of the Greece. And we basically just wanted to take these principles of doing a lot of hard work in the beginning, doing it very fast through a small foundation, and then slowly see how we can make it more decentralized through some kind of a DAO or, basically a DAO. And we are still more than 1 year old project, and we are still not a DAO yet, but we are planning to expand into a DAO, but first we have to set up the principles and guidelines on how we can do it. And just to give it a little bit more history, NFTs. What is an NFT? Basically, people just mint it, and there is a price to the NFT. So pretty much, I think 99% of NFTs, the money goes to the creator of the NFT, to the most part. And we decided that we don't need the money. I mean, we like money, but I think there is a better ways that we can utilize this money. And what we did is we took all the mint funds, and by the way, I think 35% were free mint to the community. So if you were back then a holder of GMX, you could mint GBC for free. So in the end, basically we created a treasury, and 100% of the funds went to create this treasury. So all the mint money went to create this treasury. Back then, it was the hype, the peak of the NFT period. And overall, I think we raised about $300,000. And today, the treasury is pretty much almost 10x this treasury. So we are now at 2 million, I think almost 3 million, $800,000. So the treasury is pretty much during a bear market is 10x itself.
Very
And in the
impressive.
future, what we're trying to do is
To participate
this is
in your course.
no, not yet. But this is kind of an alpha, I can tell. We're trying to create some kind of an intrinsic value for NFT, for our NFT specifically. So every NFT does not have doesn't you don't know the real value of the NFT. I mean, you can't perceive it through the if someone is willing to pay or maybe bid orders. But what you're trying to do is really create a foundation based on the treasury. So the simple way we can do it is you take the treasury and you divide it by the amount of tokens. So in our collection, there's 10,000 blueberries and there will never be more than 10,000. So you take, for example, the treasury, which is all close to 3 million, and you divide it by 10,000. And that will give you a net $300 per token. So that's pretty much the intrinsic value of a GBC. And that way, if you dig into GBC, what we're trying to do is just build products that generate revenue. This revenue goes to the treasury, and you have something called the flywheel, which is also something very similar to what llamas are trying to do. And by the way, this is the discussion. Pretty much, this is what sparked this podcast: is our similarities with the llamas, what we are trying to do, which is very interesting. Yeah, so back to the DAO question. We're trying to build products, build foundation, which is it's kind of chaotic and centralized. But once we have all figured out, we can basically create more a DAO that is principled and coordinated through the history of what we try to do.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'd like to add is I recently viewed now you can use your GBC NFT as collateral to borrow some USDC. I've tried it. I don't remember the name of the protocol which allow that. Yeah. Maybe you can help me, Itburnz.
Yeah, you can deposit your GBC to borrow money. So yeah, there's a lending protocol called DeFi.
Yes.
I'll put it on the link. I'll put a link. And DeFi allows you to use your GBC as a collateral, and in return you borrow stablecoin.
Yeah, that's another use case I really like for NFT-Fi, let's say, that you could use your NFT, your Llama NFT as an asset to borrow USDC, a pre-seed, why not? And,
no, I think the something that we're looking into, whether or not it's possible, is whether you can fractionalize your NFT, but tokenize it, right? So if possible, if it's theory, that you could put it into, say, a curve pool, and that way you could theoretically enlarge the collection, or you could use, if you can fractionalize something, then you can use the different moving parts for different things. So you could hedge, you could lend, you could use some for collateral, and suddenly your asset becomes much more capital efficient, adding the utility. I think as well, just any kind of utility adds another layer of value, which is hard to quantify, but it definitely does. I sometimes look at these really, top tier NFTs, expensive ones at 80 ETH, 100 ETH, 200 ETH, and you're thinking well, that's great, but it's just sitting there. like what can you actually do with it? Like, I think that's like the next stage of what people are trying to solve in NFT fi, let's call it, at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're seeing these lending protocols and different things, but I think that's where the next like really interesting advancement is going to be is when you can kind of really take it around multiple dApps and do multiple things with it. Then it's going to be really exciting.
Agree. Yeah. Yeah, even more if it represents a share of a treasury, like if it has added value, real value. Yeah, it's even more interesting to use it on other protocol. Agree.
But I had a question for Itburnz. You said so that your treasury went 10x in the bear. Is that? I mean, GMX has obviously been like up only pretty much, but like, what are you taking your fees from exactly? Like, is that linked to GMX itself, or is it just from trading and pools on?
Oh yeah, it's very linked. Pretty much, most of the revenue comes from GMX. First, it comes from partly from the appreciation of GMX, which the projects bought with the mint money, and also through when you hold the GMX, and you also get a yield from it. So our treasury in part holds about 50% of GMX, which yields Ethereum, and 50% in GLP, which is the liquidity pool token, which also provides you GMX, I mean ESGMX, which is equivalent to a GMX, plus it gives you the Ethereum, which is in GMX, 70% goes to the LP. As a revenue share, it goes 70% to the GLP, which is the LP token, and 30% goes to the GMX token holders. So we basically not only got yield from the GMX we hold and the GLP that we yield from, we also got from the appreciation of buying very low during very hard times of GMX when a lot of token holders just dumped the token, and we just believed that it's very, very low price during very hard times.
But a high conviction play that plays off very well.
Well, we are called GMX Blueberry Club, so I mean it's either go with the ship, or I mean it's the only play that we can do. But I think that you pretty much talked about fractionalizing or adding some additional value to the NFT, some kind of a. So we both have a financial wheel, right? Both do have some similarities, but we are a little bit different. I did talk about the idea of intrinsic value, where you have the treasury and you divide it by the amount of tokens. So what you get is the price floor. So you get the idea where's the financial. What's the value of a GBC? And if you can graph it, you can see the financial performance over time. So what's nice about it is that we're trying to build more products that generate revenue. And when we perform very well, what we're trying to do is to create some kind of a buyback. And that will be how you can give the more appreciation value for the token. So that will give the community the idea of when the price is low, and most likely the community will front run the treasury that is trying to buy GBC below the intrinsic value. So that's a little bit more alpha, by the way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I have a quick question. How does your treasury make up buys, and what strategies do you use to try not to be a front ran?
Yeah. So, well, it's not there yet. But what we thought about doing is create a contract that it will be very stupid contract. All it does is buys if the price is below the intrinsic value, it will simply use the available Ethereum that is sitting on the treasury to buy GBCs every, let's say, I mean, it's not, I mean, we're not certain how exactly it will buy, but let's say, for example, it buys every 2 or 4 hours, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if the as long as you have an performance treasury, as long as you have products that generate revenue, no matter what, your treasury will continue growing. And so far, we have been 10x our treasury. So so you could say that over time the price floor will grow, and eventually, if the contract that we'll build will overperform the value of the market. For example, we'll have an oracle that try to fetch the price through OpenSea. So if the price is below, if the floor price is below the intrinsic value, it will trigger a buy call through the contract, and it will buy, let's say, a GBC, and then wait 4 hours to check again. If it's below, it will buy again and again. But most likely, because you have all the fundamentals set, people will people will know that this is a good way to buy a GBC, because that's below the value book of if you are an investor, you're basically looking for the fundamentals, you're looking for the performance, and you're looking to see, okay, how much GBC will worth in 5, 10 years, or maybe 1 year.
That's cool. That's a really awesome approach to it, and I think like that, like intrinsic value becomes a really important with like a lending and treating blueberries like a collateral, because like you don't you're not like a art house or a gallery where it's like, who knows how much this is worth. Like you can actually like look at that and make an estimated guess and try not to get liquidated.
Yeah, I imagine it would keep the floor much more stable, and makes lending and much more attractive then.
Yeah, it also composes very well with lending. For example, we're trying to make something that is more simple. We'll not try like we thought about like staking GBCs, but you do lose a lot of flexibility with like other projects. Like for example, the frag, which you can borrow against GBC. So we're trying to also, by the way, regulation. So we're not, if you're an American, you don't want to be regarded as security for staking your pictures. So that's one, also another benefit. So it allows more flexibility and more simple mechanics.
Very
Yes,
cool.
it also allows like only if you have the NFT in your wallet, then all kinds of stuff on all kinds of dApps, it needs that like you need that you want that on your wallet. You don't want to do stuff like stake it necessarily. So am I right, Itburnz?
Yeah, I mean, it's important for us that you will own the GBC and you have the on-chain. You can see on-chain your assets instead of having it staked somewhere. So it's just reduce a lot of complexity, and having a financial wheel that is governed by the DAO instead of staking and having very complex tokenomics. It's much more, we're trying to make it as stupid as possible, but again, very visible, and ensure that people can measure the performance based on very simple metrics.
I like it. Well, it's interesting. Like for us, as we're going into our badge V2 tokenomics right now to kind of like listen to you and thinking about this, the staking and where to simplify and obviously securities and regulation. That there's a lot to consider, but I think it's if to simplify it as much as possible makes it as understandable to everyone as possible, and probably the right way to go.
Yeah. I mean, we are the we already tried to do staking, and eventually we're like trying to think first principles. How if you can remove something and it doesn't hurt it, there is no utility that has been damaged, then you need to remove it. I mean, there's no need to create something complex.
Yeah, it's also like a whole less moving parts that could potentially break.
Yeah. Maybe one point which you haven't talked about, and it's something, by the way, that the GBC lack, is community coordination. And you guys have already like trying to innovate the idea of creating badges and creating like actionable things that the community can do. And this is like something like I want to try to dig into how the Llama is doing it. So we're kind of monitoring what you guys are doing and how we can make sure the community is more, how we can bring more contribution, which is the core principles on how a DAO can succeed, or a coordinated community can succeed.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that badges and our treasury, which will like kind of act like the blueberries one, that it like kicks out a yield and makes like it really get a revenue. You could like our plan is we're going to try to like target that to cause players to participate in specific ways, and we think that like that paired with that reputation will be a pretty powerful driver of action.
Yeah, I can't wait to mint a Llama.
Yeah, I mean, like all your alpha today, I'm gonna have to go pick up a couple more blueberries.
So let's mint blueberries and llamas. Maybe, guys, sorry, but we have 10 minutes left because then I have to go. But so can you give us some information about how to mint a llama? And
yeah, we're actually going to post a big thread this evening.
Okay.
So our breakdown is, first we're going to have the treasury and the team mint, and then we have everyone who's got the Llama Friends role, and they have 2 days to mint. It's 0.1 ETH guaranteed for one, and then also you enter into the whitelist auction, which is like for people who won competitions and raffles and things.
Okay.
And that begins. We're doing an auction model, very similar to the nouns.
Okay. Really cool.
For 1 week, it will just be for the whitelisters and for the friends. And then after that, when that runs out after about a week, then it runs, I think, for about a month, roughly, the public mint. The reserve price is 0.2 ETH. and then it just mints, and it goes on for about a month. What's really cool that we have integrated is we've got a troll box function in our mint URL.
Okay.
So you're going to be able to talk and shitpost with everyone during the mint, and I think that should be a really cool place to hang out, especially some rare llamas and things. And I've got to give a really big shout out to Dina, our front end dev, who's been like integrating that. And
Really cool.
I'm so excited to see this. I think it's going to be so much fun. So yeah, that's the kind of the mint. We'll have like documents going out with like a more detailed information, but it looks something like that. Or hold on, have I got it right? I'm confused myself at this time.
Oh no, yeah, that's all right. And I
Yeah.
just want to chime in to add that the protocol will have a treasury, and all the auction goes into the treasury. We're not extracting anything on top of it. It's just we're really trying to like align everyone's interests to be like a purely and like a protocol that is a public a good to help curve and all of the protocols attached to it.
Nice. Maybe we can you guys can answer some of the last questions we had. Some guys want some hacks to build a community, like how. Yeah, you said you start bootstrapping your community through Convex Discord. Any other tips you could share?
I think just trying to engage as much as possible. Like we hang out in our Discord all the time.
Okay.
And like answer as many questions as time as possible. And I think what we notice is that like people that stepped up into our community very early, we really rewarded them. So we've got Ron and his girlfriend who've become like main artists for us, who are just community members from the competition, and now I'm like begging them daily to make me like specials for partner protocols and stuff. So that like if you can reward the people who put in the work in your community, they're going to stick around. And I think we've tried as much as possible to make sure that our system isn't gated, that it's like accessible. Like, if you contribute, then you can get somewhere inside of it. I think that's like would probably be my quick tip. I'm sure Hawthorne's got some others.
Yeah, I think our most powerful kind of tool that we used was that we turned our community into partners. Like a PK created the Midjourney like a prompt that we used to generate the whole collection, but then we told everyone what that prompt was, and we challenged people to contribute. And there's a lot of pride and just like of like trying to mint your llama or to have one in the collection. I think just kind of turning our community into like partners who are like part of this allows us to kind of create that connective tissue and that like a catalyst.
Can I also add something, Roman, about building a community before Itburnz shares probably his view? Because honestly, he's the one that actually has been involved with the project that has built it the most. But for personally, I think that exactly what Panda and Hoth said, it's first of all about creating the engagement and being there and showing up and actually putting in the time and the energy. It doesn't happen by itself. For example, how you're now hosting us and allowing us this space to have this talk and share these ideas, and how you've coordinated it so long ago. And that's exactly the stuff. So for me, it's about you need to show up, you need to do it, you need to go with your imagination and start doing. And above all, in my opinion, you should find a way to be valuable. You need to add some kind of value, to bring value yourself without like expecting anything at first. You should simply focus on how do I create something which is good, which is positive, which can assist others. And once you start doing it consistently, I think people will start noticing and opportunities will emerge, and a community will be able to be built. Like you will have the terrain that allows you to even create something like that, because there is a point, there is an issue, there is something of value that's being done.
Yeah, pretty much what DeFi Advisoor said. When you bring value, when you're contributing into a project, you become part of the project, and the foundation basically will have a pointer to who to go to, who to ask when you bring value, when you're contributing. And yeah, most of the time it's gonna be a contributing without really receiving anything. But that's how you start. That's how you climb the ladder. That's how you build connections. And regarding the question to starting a new community, well, both of our projects, Llamas and GBCs, we are basically a foundation of other community. So Llamas are related to Curve, which is a big project, and it has its own community. And they sparked their own community through creating NFT. So they created some identity to Curve, and that's exactly what we also did. We're creating an identity through actually using NFTs, and we created our own community through that. So that's one way.
I think it's time for me to thank you, all of you guys. It was really nice. I was really honored to host you tonight, and I hope people understand a bit more about what you guys are doing. And yeah, once again, I'm very happy to host you. It's really cool what you are building. NFTFi. I hate NFT, but NFTFi, I think I'm gonna like them. And yeah. Very exciting to see what's going to happen in the next few days for you guys, for the Llama.
Thank you.
And yeah, if you guys want to add something, guys, feel free.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the platform, and like to come on here and talk to everyone. And I think to get up on stage with Itburnz, it's like a project we've been following since the beginning, as Hawthorne rightly said. It's been a real inspiration. So it kind of feels like slightly more real what we're doing right now, huh? Now just getting to mint. So it's been great being on here, and we've got some llamas for you, obviously, and hopefully you mint as well. And yeah, join us.
Yeah, and just to echo that, appreciate the time and the platform. At this point in the market, I think everyone who's here and is still tuned in is not a tourist, and like part of our mission is to develop a workforce who is crypto native. So we would love to have you all in our community and help us build.
Thanks a lot, Roman. Really enjoyed the platform. Honestly, very nice to meet you. Really enjoyed the talk, and I think you hosted it very, very well and fluently and exquisitely. Right on.
DeFi Advisor, you are the best at making compliment, I think. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all of you, and see you soon. Let's build. Let's build.